This is Windows 10. If you have a copy of Windows 7 running on your computer, then you're actually entitled to upgrade to this for free as long as you grab it before July 29th, 2016. Personally, I think this is the best version of Windows yet, but why is that? I'm Jay Cork, and these are the major changes from Windows 7 to 10. First off, Windows 10 just looks pretty. I really do like the new design. Everything's quite modern and stylish and really clean. Plus, it's got all the best bits from Windows 7 and 8 sort of mashed together and covered up with this nice little newness. So the first thing I want to talk about is the start menu, but I kind of feel obligated to talk about a feature that nobody else seems to be really talking about because it's something that's been in Windows 8 for quite some time now, and I think people have more or less become accustomed to it and actually forgotten that it exists but use it all the time. This feature is called Fast Startup, and it does exactly what it says on the tin. Basically now the time between pressing the power button on your computer to your computer being actually ready for you to use is considerably less, and it's actually a big change in lifestyles because now you can't actually make a cup of tea or coffee between pressing the button and the computer being ready because it'll probably be done before you finish making your cup of teas or coffees. Now, like I said, the first thing I wanted to talk about is the start menu. Now it's down by here, and if you click on it, it actually looks a little bit different to what we're used to. Now I'm going to run through everything here, especially these tiles, which should be completely new to you, or may not be. But we're going to start with the new search bar. Now, if you're used to using it in Windows 7, you should be able to use it in all the same ways that you're used to. Plus, it's going to have some extra features thanks to some web integration now and Cortana being integrated with it. But we'll get into Cortana a little bit later. Now, I want to point out that all your applications are now stored on the left-hand side, and your most common and most used are automatically going to be placed up in this list called most used, obviously, and this will actually get bigger and smaller, I think, depending on what you want to do. So right here, we've only got the recently added here, and we've also got places down by here. If you want to find more of your programs, then you need to click click all apps and scroll through this list and find them. Either you can also search using that or the search bar. Now the big change, like I promised I was going to talk about, is here, and these are called tiles, and they're apps that you can all get from the Windows Store. You can easily uninstall some of these because they're mostly pre-loaded onto your computer, or you can download more from the store. And these actually run kind of badly on Windows 8, and no one really used them, but now they kind of work more or less in the exact same way as programs, but are a little bit smarter now. So we're going to run through some of those smart things that they can do. Now first off, you can see some of these actually changing, and this is because they have live tiles activated. So for example, we'll use the News app. Because live tiles are activated, it actually scrolls through all the headlines that it thinks you want to see, even though the News app isn't actually running at the moment, which is a really handy tool just to have a quick look at, and you can actually customize all these things, move them around. That just disabled the live tiles, which I did not expect. But let's change this one. Okay, now hang on. There you go. So you can see all the things coming up now here. I can move things around and customize them and make things bigger, smaller, or just completely get rid of them if you want. Also, if you don't like this, you can actually make this smaller just by clicking and dragging things, or you could delete all of these if you wanted to. Now, another thing that these things can do is another feature they've introduced when they introduced these apps is something called toast notifications, which you should see now. There you go, and you can see there's a little notification that comes up here, and this is where toast notifications are, so we're going to dismiss this. I'll talk about this in a little bit. But if we had the News app still running, then its toast notifications basically come up as breaking news. So if there's been a disaster, like a train crash or something, it considers everyone needs to see, no matter what you're doing. If you're just browsing on Facebook or you're writing a Word document, a little toast notification will come up in the corner with the headline and the information saying it's breaking news. And this doesn't happen that often. I think in my entire time of using it, I've seen it come up maybe 3 times. So that'll come up and you can just click on that and it'll take you straight to the article. Now different toast notifications work in different ways. on different apps, but it's all really useful information and they're not actually intrusive at all, so you don't need to worry about that. But if you do miss a notification, then you should find them in this Action Center, which is new. And if you've got a smartphone, then you should be used to these things. These are like the notification centers you see on the top of your phones on Android, Windows phones, and iOS phones. But at the bottom, you've also got a bunch of little settings that you can mess around with and toggle with. And you can also customize these and add your own or take some of these out. But all the settings that you want to get to are down by here in this new settings app, where you can also get all your personalization stuff. Now, seeming as we've just been talking about apps, we should probably go into the Windows Store, which is also brand new for all you Windows 7 users. If you're actually used to using a smartphone, like I mentioned before, such as iOS or Android, then you will be used to a unified store. And what this means is that as long as you do everything whilst connected to your account, everything you buy and do is always connected on all of your devices as long as you're signed in. So say you buy Minecraft to play on your computer, you don't have to buy another copy of Minecraft to play it on your tablet. It's going to be linked to your account and you can just scroll through it. Also works the same with apps, games, music and film and TV. So if you're on the train with your mobile phone, you can buy or rent a copy of Ex Machina and be watching that, and you get home half an hour later and then you can continue watching Ex Machina on your computer because everything is linked to your account and is shared, and you don't have to worry about buying things again or anything like that. My new favorite feature of Windows 10 is actually going to sound really boring because it's going to help majorly with productivity, but it's called Task View. And you can get to Task View in a few different ways. You can either swipe in from the left of your screen if you're using a tablet or something like that, or you can click on the Task View button here, which brings it up here, or you can press the Windows Tab key. You don't have to hold it, just press it and it all comes up. So basically what this does is shows off all the programs you have running on your desktop at the moment. So at the moment we have two file explorers running. One's displaying the recycling bin and one's just displaying the normal explorer. So we can actually close stuff from here. We can actually move it onto a different desktop, which we'll get to in a second. So you can click that and it'll just open up and bring to the front the program you have running. So if you go back to it, you can actually move this onto a different desktop. Now these are virtual desktops. So as you can see here, this desktop is completely clean at the moment. There is nothing on it. It's like the computer's just been turned on. But you can also have different desktops, so you can have different apps and programs running on different screens, which I personally really love because it lets me put things like all my university work onto one desktop and then put all my distractions, stuff like Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, on a different page. So when I do my 15-minute break or 10-minute break or whatever it may be, I don't have to try and scoot around all my work and get used to it. Everything's all separate. Again, you can have more of these, you can close these down. So we're going to go straight onto the third desktop, which has a new feature that Windows are really pushing called Microsoft Edge. But before we go into Microsoft Edge, I want to talk a little bit more about how Windows 10 can help you be more productive, because they've really improved the snapping. They've introduced a new thing called Snap Assist. So as you can see, now when we snap a program or an app, it brings up a weird menu here, just like it would have done in the task view. Now this is because it now knows that when you snap something, you clearly or probably do want to snap something alongside of it as well, because what's the point of snapping it if you don't want to do that? So you can actually close apps through here as well, just like the task view, or you can click and open them. Also, you can now snap into quadrants. So if you drag something up to the top corner, you can drag something up again, and it also brings up Snap Assist again. So you can really help organize yourself quickly and get a nice little layout if you want to be doing work. So we wanted to talk about Microsoft Edge. Microsoft Edge is basically the replacement for Internet Explorer, which still exists for some reason on your computer, but I really do suggest not using that. This is because Microsoft Edge is supposed to be a really good replacement for Firefox and Chrome, and by all accounts it's been fairly decent so far. Plus it has some extra built-in features that neither of those two browsers do actually have. First off, we want to show off something called Reading View. So we'll click on this rather depressing news article. As you can see, there's a lot of adverts in the sides, there's more links to different things, and there's comments and sharing. It's all a bit messy, and if you get distracted a lot, then you probably don't want to be doing these things. So, Microsoft has built in something called Reading View, which you can just click, and it literally gets rid of all the stuff you probably don't want to see, and kind of gives you the bare bones web page, and it brings up just the picture, the headline in this case, and then the rest of the article. Sometimes there's more pictures if there's been more pictures included in the article, but basically it picks all the stuff that you don't want to see and gets rid of it. The second big thing about Microsoft Edge is the ability to use a web page as kind of like a little drawing pad, so you can draw on it and make notes and say jokes. I didn't even read that. That could be very appropriate, or stuff like this. Or if you want to, you can just highlight quotes and things like that. You can have a few different ways of finding this useful, but you can always save these. You can also share them with other people. And it's just a neat little feature that some people may find useful, some people may actually not. And the other big thing is that you can save things to a reading list, so you can read them all later. So now we're going to talk about Cortana, which also has some integration with Cortana, with Microsoft Edge. As you can see, this little thing here is part of Cortana giving this information. So we've mentioned Cortana at least twice in this video. So, who is Cortana?
Cortana is me.
There we go. Cortana is kind of being advertised as the world's only personal digital assistant, which is a bit of a weird way of thinking about it, but if you're used to Siri or Google Voice, then you should be kind of familiar with the concept of controlling your devices through your voice. So Cortana's got like a lot of features that you can do with, and she knows a lot of functionality, but a lot of the stuff is built in with Microsoft products like the Edge, like the search bar. You can email people through her, you can set reminders on your Microsoft calendars and all this stuff. And she's just a really weird, cool way of doing things, and you should probably play around with her because you can do a bunch of weird things like set reminders and talk to you about certain things. So if you're into gaming at all, you might want to check out the new Xbox app, which really does a pretty good job of mixing up and building a bridge between your Xbox life and your PC life. It's got some cool little features in here. You can see all your friends and what they're doing. You can look at their videos and stuff. One of the coolest features, if you have an Xbox One, is the ability to play your Xbox One through your PC by streaming it to your actual computer as long as you're on the same network, which is a pretty neat feature. But outside of the Xbox sort of ecosystem, there's also some other cool features that you can use with Steam games and things like that. So when you're in a game, like Minecraft in this example, you can press Windows G, which should, there you go, bring up a little gaming menu, which has some cool features, wasn't on that, which lets you do some really cool things like take screenshots, which you can also do. There are some other settings here, but one of the cool things is it lets you record video for the next 30 seconds. So what are you doing, whether it's Team Fortress 2 or anything like that, League of Legends, you can record whatever you're doing, and everything will be recorded, and you can actually see some old footage saved in your Xbox app, which you can then share with whoever you want. Outside of all this Xbox and Windows 10 stuff, Windows 10 also introduces DirectX 12 to the world, which, if compatible with your hardware, means that all your games will be running a little bit better just through the software updates, which is great for both high-end computers and low-end laptops. It just works for most places. And those are really all the biggest changes that you will be seeing. Most of the other changes have been done under the hood, and you probably won't even notice them. Things like better security, a better command shell, touchscreen integrations, stuff like that. You can see exactly what's new in Windows 10 by looking at the 2 Wikipedia pages I have linked in the description, which are both just below the like button. If you didn't like this video, feel free to let me know what I could be doing better in the comments. If you do like this video, then please do click the like button I would love it if you shared this video or the Windows 8 version around in any which way you can on Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. And that's me, out.